Good evening, world. It's Lee Johnson, once again with Real Men, Real Stories podcast. And we're having our part two discussion. So we're going to welcome back to the show OG, CVL, conservative vice lords, father, grandfather, teacher of peace and prosperity, Mr. Jimmy Trotter. What's going on with you tonight, Jimmy?
Amen. Bless.
Last time we talked about, we just jumped over the beginning of your life and we went straight to prison. We really started when you first joined the Vice Lords. I remember it was 1965. And we talked about the transition of Vice Lords from being a political entity to somewhat of a criminal organization, at least from what the feds say, criminal organization. You know what I'm saying? Went to your incarceration. I wanted to start off with today is the beginning. Mother, father, brothers, sisters, cousins. Where exactly were you born? What year were you born? And what, do you remember the hospital, the county?
Oh, I remember all that.
Uh-oh.
I was born in 1948, Chicago, Illinois. And I was born in Cook County Hospital. Cook County, the one y'all got out here, that big hospital.
Grady.
Grady. Puts me in the man of Cook County Hospital.
So it's basically a hospital that goes by your income and things of that nature.
Right. It's a hospital for indigent people, anybody. You know what I'm saying? And thing was though, man, you could go there at 12 o'clock at night, might not get out of there at 6 You sit back there waiting, you know.
Yeah, I think that's just like Grady. I think that's just like Grady. All right, so you was born then. Mother, father, were they still together?
Yeah. My mother and my father were both together. I think they were in their 20s at that time when they had me. And I am the oldest of four.
The oldest
of four. Two brothers and a sister.
Where the sisters fall at?
Where does she fall at? She was in let me see, third.
Was she protected?
I never was around my family that much. And after, let's say, after 14, you know, I think that was the last time I was really around my family a lot, because I took off, went to stay with my grandmother, because of, you know, the things I was doing that the old man couldn't accept, wouldn't accept.
Yeah, we going too far. So I guess from the time you saying from you was born at 14, it was just like family, like.
Yeah.
So was it what kind of father you had? Was he strict?
Strict, and I mean he was good. He took care of his family. He loved his family, but he was strict. You know, he wasn't the type of individual that he was gonna say anything more than once. Because you heard it the first time. And if you didn't, that was on you. You should have been listening.
You had a tough father. So did a lot of the people that you grew up with, were there a lot of mothers and fathers there, or was your father the neighborhood father?
At that time, we grew up like in the projects, right? And families back then, this was before desegregation, man. Families back then were tight. Fathers was there, mothers was there.
Oh, so there we go, folks. We just killing one stereotype to act like fathers wasn't there. You know
fathers was there.
Yeah, I'm glad you put that out there. That stereotype can get.
I know I be hearing that mess, but fathers was there. They thinking like, okay, all the women in the project is living on welfare. They got all these kids. That's BS, man. It wasn't like that.
So were they? I remember the last interview, you was stating that they was trying to drive some of the fathers out of the projects.
Oh yeah.
The welfare lady was coming.
Oh yeah. You know, I mean, they had a scheme set up back then. You know, there were women in the projects that didn't have men. I mean, didn't have a husband in there, and they had kids. They had men that would come. You know, but this is where the welfare thing came in, because the women on welfare could not have a man, They couldn't have the TV, no kind of electronics.
No electronics. What do you mean, like no electronics? No TV,
No
no
TV.
microwave?
Well, they didn't even, microwave didn't even exist.
All right, yeah, this is the 40s, and the 40s and the 50s.
No TV, nothing that would cause, be deemed as an expense beyond food.
So they just was supposed to be in a place where they allowed to have beds, furniture, and stuff.
Oh, you could have furniture.
But you just couldn't have a TV. What about a radio at least?
Well, you can get a radio. But I mean, they consider the TV as a luxury. And if you could afford a TV,
You could afford to.
you could afford to buy your own food.
Just
how they
ignorant mind frame, just a backward mind frame, just really trying to drive you in the dust.
Mm-hmm.
Really trying to. That sounds like mental warfare.
It is.
That's definitely playing warfare.
It is, and I mean, the racism, the animosity, all that was there. And once you come to understand what the structured projects really are, then you be able to understand the mentality that these people have when they put us in those places.
Well, I know the ghetto, the actual real historically claimed ghetto was back in, I guess, the 1930s when Hitler was rounding up all the Jews and he was putting them in. And before it was concentration camps, it was things called ghettos.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he stripped them of their money and put the stars on them, and they could only use their money within their own thing. But that's where the actual term ghetto comes from.
And it came with a bad connotation.
And yeah, it's definitely a bad connotation, but it started in Germany and it started a German phrase. You know what I'm saying?
Well, anything to certain people, if it's not a $500,000 house on that street, or it's manicured lawns, it's a ghetto.
It's a ghetto.
You need what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It don't matter.
The term, that's so ghetto. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And one of the things I was going to say about the welfare, you could tell when the welfare lady was coming because you could see the man running out the door. With the TV.
Oh man. So what was school like? What was going through school like? Was it a learning experience?
For a period, it was pretty good. Until I got to about 8th grade.
What changed?
Individuals that I was hanging with, the whole structure, the system of the school, and then the fact that I really didn't want to be in school.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I went because I was forced to go. Let's put it like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was forced to go to school. Other than that, I wouldn't have went. Because I could never understand why you giving me all of these calculus and all this other mess. Man, I ain't gonna use this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't understand it now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What make you think I'm gonna understand this jump 20, 30 years down the road somewhere?
Yeah,
Give me something that's gonna be structural for me that I can use.
Yeah.
And that's where I fell out of school. And I went though up until 11th grade.
Okay.
And I don't know.
Just.
I really got in that gangbang by then.
Oh, so all right. So 11th grade. That's what, 17, 16, 17 years old.
17. No, I was 16. No, I was 17 because I went into the army the next year.
So, I know you said 1965. So, what are some of the things that led up to that moment in 1965? You joined the Vicelords. Like, what were some of the reasons? Or some like what were some of the moments and things like that? Like, I got to do something. I got to make a change. This right here ain't working.
Well, for one, my brother was already a Vicelord. And like I say, I wasn't living with them, so when I would come over there, he would take me around the fellas and, kick and talk and stuff. And I got into it one time about my first wife when I was there one weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I got into it with a guy. And it turned into altercation, you know what I'm saying, fisticuffs. And it was a brother there, I'm not going to call his name, but he high rank up in the mob, He saw me, pulled me to the side, asked me who I was, Told him who I was, he said, I like the way you handle yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Asked me who I knew over there, I told him about my brother, he said, oh, okay. Invited me to the spot, we had a Miss Love. It was a house on the end of the corner, looked like a castle. And it was Miss Love's joint, called her Miss Love. That's where we used to have our meetings and things. And he invited me there. And I kind of liked what I heard. Asked me if I wanted to become a part of it. I told him yeah.
So what did he say? What was his message?
Well, he was talking about the political side of it, you know, the things that they were trying to accomplish in the neighborhood. Because at that time, before we even became gang, you know, it was just a bunch of brothers that had got together, you know, take care of the neighborhood, take care of the people in the neighborhood.
You named some of the names to some of y'all?
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
I'm not naming no names.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But if any of them listening, they know what I'm talking about.
I know who you talking about. That's a bet. That's a bet. So what was y'all modus operandi? Like, what was y'all main objective?
Education. Believe it or not, educating brothers and sisters to what's really going on out here in the world. You know, why we have to do certain things that we do, why things happen like they happen. We had beautification day, things going on in the neighborhood. There was a time, man, when your mother, my mother, grandmother, any woman could walk down the street at 3 o'clock in the morning with $100 bills hanging off of it with nobody gonna touch you. Not in our neighborhood.
Yeah, that's definitely was a different time from what we got going on right now.
I mean, babies actually slept on the porch. Family slept on the porch. It'd be so hot in the house. Sleep on the porch, man. 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, ain't nobody gonna bother. You ain't gonna hear no gunshots and all that craziness, man. Those were beautiful times. Those were good times because that was a time when black people were really united.
Yeah.
Like in
That's
the
what I'm talking about.
You know, like in the projects, man, no child was running around there raggedy and ass out because when your brother outgrew his, they came to me. And when I outgrew them, they went to him. You wasn't going to send your babies to bed hungry that night because somebody was coming down there. Girl, you ain't got... Child, bring them kids on those things. You know, we stuck together, man.
Yeah.
Then came desegregation.
You know what? All right, hold on. All right, before we jump into that, I think this is another stereotype barrier we breaking right now, trying to act like just because you broke that you got to be down. You don't have to be down. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that we all sticking together. We don't have to stab each other in the back because we all not financially sound at that moment. You know what I'm saying? That proves that if we all stick together, it don't even seem like we broke. You know what I'm saying? It don't even seem like we broke. So you know what I'm saying? All right, so now we're gonna move to
and let me say something on that point you get into about, you know, not having money. My grandmother told me to do an experiment one time. She told me to dress up, just dress up. I ain't got no money. She told me to just dress up. Dress up like you know, going to a ball or something. And I did. She said, now go out there amongst your boys, your friends, whatever, and see what happens. Everybody want to give me something because it look like I got something.
That's interesting. People don't want to give somebody broke anything. They rather give somebody that already has something, and that's a proven fact. That's a proven fact though. Like even with rich people, like you see that shit every day. That's definitely a proven fact. So
and that's when I learned that first lesson. You know what I'm saying? Also the fact that every time you come, you know, every time somebody come out of jail, the first thing somebody says, "Come on, man, let me go buy you a drink." Okay. What about a meal? What about rent? What about a pair of shoes? Why you want to buy me a drink? Because they can get something. So they're not giving you anything.
I understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? Man, listen, life
act like they was there for you. Yeah.
Life is a hell of a trip for the simple fact, man. It requires more than just education out of a book. You know what I'm saying? You gotta live. It's like everybody was written with a script before we even got here. Script you got is the way you gonna live. Script he got is the way he gonna live. The script I got is for me, not you, not him. You can't live this because anyone I can live yours. You gonna do what you gonna do all through your life because that's the way it was written before you even got here.
True. That's definitely.
You know, and we jump off that track. This is why we keep getting messed up in the head, keep getting confused because we keep on trying to lay our own track. Track was already laid.
Stay in your own lane.
Stay in your own lane.
Stay in your own lane.
Deal with what's on your plate that day, what's been given you when you woke up that morning. Now, bless you to wake up that morning. Your feet touch the floor, you got the strength. Move, do something.
Move. Do something and move.
It don't matter if you got riches. I'm probably one of the, I don't know, few individuals in this world. I don't care about money, man. I don't care about money. Money is only a tool, an instrument. You got a screw, you get a screwdriver. You got a nail, you get a hammer. You go to the store and that thing ring up the button. You pay money.
Yeah.
It's a tool to get what you need, to get what you. Man, that's the last thing I ever had in my man, money, because money all over the world. All you got to do is sit down and figure out how to get something.
I get it. So, the last comment you said was desegregation. And that changed the whole game. Elaborate on that.
Where there were boundaries at one time we couldn't cross, now you can cross.
And what happened?
And black people got out there and got a taste of this and a taste of that, and you start seeing the change where the afro was beautiful. You know,
Everybody
was
wanted to get perms. Ah! Listen, so in college, I did a report on hair, black hair. And I used Chris Rock's movie Hair. Was it Black Hair or something like that? And I focused on perms and not just the chemical deterioration of the perm, but the mental, how it mentally destroyed folks. You know what I'm saying? And I was waiting. I was trying to figure out when did we started doing that? Like when did we started actually perming our hairs and actually started caring about being in the Oscars or being in the Grammys and things like that? Was it so desegregation? You think that? So do you think that was in a planned type of enticement to get us off our own track?
Like everything else that's being promoted by certain, you know, systems, societies. Separate the family, the black families. Separate. You know what I'm saying? Just like back during that period of slavery when mothers and fathers were taken from their kids. Only this time, we'll separate them by, let's say, we're going to make it easier for a black woman to get a job than for a black man to get a job.
In certain spots, I can see where that's true.
Here too, because
There's certain spots where
when I stayed with my sister, when I first got here, I was staying with my sister. I used to go up to the bus stop, take, you know, to get to Marta Station. And I would sit there, man, and I would count the cars, because it was right at the light. I would count the cars that had women in them, and I would count the cars that had men in them. And every morning, for every 3 men that drove through there, 8 or 9 women drove through there.
So do you think that is
Intentional.
either men not trying to work?
Nope, that's intentional.
You think it's an intentional, systematic
Yes, it
thing?
is. Yeah. Yes, I do.
You think it was implement
A long time ago.
So what do you think comes with? So if that was a plight, what do you think comes with the plight? Like what are the results of this plight? Like what are their ultimate results?
Well, in one way, it's to degrade the man in front of the woman, you know, and his kids. You know, this is something they've always instituted. You know, make the man appear weak in front of his woman, except for this one fact. You know, black women already know the truth about why black men act like they act. And it was indoctrinated in them eons ago.
So what happened to that now? Like what changed now? What do you think?
It still hasn't changed. Let me tell you something, man. Black women have always been our protectors, and they still are. They still are. Because of their mothering, nurturing nature, they teach us and show us and guide us into ways that will protect us as men, black men. It seems like weakness to some people. But a real woman, a real black woman knows what she sees when she sees it. And no, this is not weakness. This is just a mechanism for this black man to survive out here in this world.
My theory on that, because I believe that everything you're saying, I think I've spoken. But my theory on that is that we're different from any other black man on this planet. Like you go to London. London is highly got a lot of Jamaicans in it. And the reason why Jamaicans in World War II was fighting for England and they get citizenship. So it was an influx of Jamaicans that went up to London, you know what I'm saying? And they treated them pretty well, you know what I'm saying? Our situation wasn't a voluntary thing. In their situation at first wasn't a voluntary thing, because they came over just like we did. It's just our captors kept us, and their captors let them go. But I think with our situation dealing with that is that when we was getting to know our identity in the 40s and the 30s, and there was a time that we was about to flourish. I think I agree with you. The desegregation kind of destroyed a lot of things, and the not knowing who you are, because black men, American men, we're Africans don't claim us. And if you talk to an African, he's not black, he's an African. You know what I'm saying? You talk to anybody, we're the only ones that say black. We're the only group of people on this planet that our color defines us, even on a piece of paper, like check black, Hispanic, white. The only ones, like, and it'll be Jamaican, Ugandan, you know what I'm saying, like that, but we're black. So where's our identity at? You know what I'm saying? And I think by us not having our identity, you know what I'm saying, in a way, a lot of people be lost, you know what I'm saying? But our identity really is actuality is our captors. You know what I'm saying? And hold on, in a sense, it's our captors. We don't, in a sense, it is our captors. It's definitely part, because nobody here, I mean, I don't speak Swahili now. I know I speak fluid English, like other, you know what I'm saying, speak fluid English. When I was in the military, you would travel, folks like how black men beat their women and stuff like that. And I used to phrase people like, listen, we learned everything from them. You know what I'm saying? Like the walking and the talking, we put some flavor in everything, some finesse to our shit, you know what I'm saying? But ultimately, we learn these schools, same thing, like same exact thing. So our identity is intertwined with theirs. And I think that was a plight. I think we should have our own completely separate so we can know who we are. You know what I'm saying? And if you know who you are, I think that kind of...
Well, don't you think, man, that's incumbent upon the individual himself?
It's
you don't need no
on the
school for that. You don't need no organization for that. If you want to know who you are, then rather than, being off in somebody else's business, take the time to find out who you are. I believe that if everybody did that, took the time to find out who they were, none of this mess would be going up, because you wouldn't have time to do nothing else.
But see, the problem is that's the plight. And you already said the plight. The plight
right.
is...
I'm just saying.
Okay, yeah. Because the plight is people mad that I'm not getting nominated for Grammys, but we got 1,000 NAACP. We got our own stuff that we should covet it and hold and wait for that period. But still to this day, you don't get any recognition till you win some award. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's another thing, man. That's another, with me anyway. I can't speak for nobody else, but the whole point of wanting recognition, attaboy, pat on the back, I'm going to receive this because I did that. That's not the mentality I'm in. No kind of way. I do what I do because this is what's in my heart. This is what's in my nature to do. This is who I am. Cut off on that point a minute and go back to something you said about Jamaica. When I was on lockdown, man, I met this Nigerian brother. They used to bring teams in to play on the baseball thing, And I asked him, because the question was always in my mind, man, why y'all dislike us so much, man? He said, it's not so much we dislike y'all, man. He said, your features are black, your colors are black. He say, but your character is not black. You have the character of the people that enslaved you. That's what he told.
The captors.
That's what he told.
But that just got to be common sense. You're going to be what you around. That's just common sense. You know what I'm saying? And that's a plight.
But at the same time, like I'm saying, you can break yourself away from that, because I have broken myself away from things that, after a point, I felt, man, that's crazy.
But see, when you break all right, now to break yourself away from that. So now you break yourself away from that. There's two things. Break yourself away from that. Now you can break yourself away from that if you rich. Like you rich. That's a different. Hold on, but hold on. But I'm explaining something. Because it's society today. You know what I'm saying? Break yourself away from how society wants to operate. So basically, like credit, how we know that's a game. The Jewish people, some of the ones that invented it, and they'll sit there and tell you like, listen, that shit is fucked up. It's a game. I don't know too many. I know a lot of Jewish folks, but a couple of them. Well, I don't know a lot, but a couple of them I do know always told me buy shit outright. Don't buy it until you have all the cash to buy it, pay for it. Because it's all a game. You know what I'm saying? It's all basically a game. So, you know what I'm saying? I think that it's just basically learning ourselves and learning our identity. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, you can get it yourself, but you step off the norm on a reservation, sometimes it can make life hard. Yeah. And then you might not live that. I mean, because we all see stuff, you know what I'm saying? If you really don't want to live that lifestyle, like you really true down, it could be lonely if you don't find that mate that's cool with that type of lifestyle. That's lifestyle. And I'm not going to even lie. I understand it. But for me to live fully like that, you know what I'm saying? That's, you know what I'm saying? Like even me, you know what I'm saying? Even me going to tell you like that's a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not to play the game. That's a lifestyle, man. That's a rough lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? That's no joke. You got to be ready.
Well, not everybody gets to that point where you just one day, you know, decide, man, you know, screw the world and screw everybody in it. I don't care. You get what I'm saying? I'm tired of the hypocrisy. I'm tired of the BS. I'm tired of people saying one thing and doing another. You lying to my face and then I'm seeing what you're doing.
Yeah.
So I decided, man, it's going to be me. It's going to be my thought. It's going to be my idea. It's going to be my feeling. Me against the world. Yeah. That's how I got off into the life that I got off into. Because I had just said, fuck the world.
So you're in the Vice Lords now. Y'all doing things. So when did it start turning a little sideways? In your eyesight, when was like certain things that you know could possibly give you some time started being done?
I don't know if you familiar with this lawyer. His name is Bailey, F. Lee Bailey. And he gave a grant, $1 million grant to the mob. At one time, on the block, man, a spot we call 16th Street, curio shops, African art shops, restaurants, places for the kids to hang out. I got popped off, went to the joint. Did a little bit, come out. And I started seeing the changes then. At that time, I got a draft notice to go to the Army. Okay. So, went to the Army, come back. I'm looking at the block, man. Shops gone. You know, buildings abandoned. Restaurants shut down. Man, what happened? Drugs. Drugs that moved into the neighborhood. Now, they were always there. You know, they always had heroin there. They always had pills there. They always had weed there. But it wasn't to the degree that I started seeing it when I came home. I mean, you very seldom even knew a drug addict.
Now it was everywhere.
Now it was everywhere. I mean, they kept that shit to themselves. They had their own. Or your mama might tell you, don't mess with so and so and so.
What made it change? What made it be everywhere? What do you think?
money, greed. People, you know, I ain't gonna say greed. People want to get away. People try to get out. Get out from under the situation that they under. Only that had an adverse effect to it. You know what I'm saying? For the people that was selling shit.
So,
because it went from selling to an outright addict that you knew was an addict to selling to Miss Mabel down the street. She got 3 kids. She bringing you her food stamps or doing something, you know, that she shouldn't or ordinarily wouldn't do because now you got her hooked on this shit or she got herself hooked on it because she didn't really have to mess with you. She took a chance and now, okay. Man, you know what, man? Man, I'm telling you, man, it's a lot of times brothers was coming in the joint telling me about what was going on out here with that shit. And I, you know, in the neighborhoods that I was frequenting. And I'm saying, man, hell no. Women selling their babies or
yeah.
You know, dude was working at the post office, man, he making 6 figures. That was good money. 6 figures was good money at that time. Lost his job because of this shit. So had a store down there. I remember he ain't got it no more. What? Yeah, man, that's what that shit doing, man.
Think it was more influx of drugs?
Yeah.
Like more drugs started hitting the street? How you think more drugs?
That's when the crack cocaine started.
And that's, okay.
First it was, they was talking about freebasing.
I heard freebasing was different from actual crack.
Freebasing was just a point of just taking, it was the same shit. They just put a different twist to it. And a different way of doing it.
Different way of doing it.
And the drug was more potent.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But it was the same.
It was the same shit. So I was watching I can't remember what I was watching. Whose interview I was watching? They were saying something about everybody was freebasing. Well, like freebasing was like a normal thing in certain clubs. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't. You might see. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if that's the case, then addicts have been freebasing all the damn day. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't.
It
wasn't that extreme.
No. I mean,
at least not where the area.
When your entertainment people got into it, athletes got into it. That's when it blew up.
That's when it blew up.
You know what I'm saying? Freebasing.
That's
freebasing. Like that was a hell of a thing, man. They just smoking shit out of pipe, dribbling water through a bubble all through the flick. You know, so. You know.
So we never talked about it. So all right. So how did all that ended up leading up to you doing ultimately all that time?
Just years of things I had done accumulating and finally catching up with me. And then the last thing I did, I got called Dead to Right.
Dead to Right.
Dead to Right.
Dead to Right. That Dead to Right shit. That Dead to Right shit.
But see, the thing with me, like I said, you know, I had already signed a pact with the government, might as well say.
Yeah.
And I'd already made up my mind, man, whatever it takes for me, you know, do what I need to do and get what I need to do. Okay, so be it. I accepted the fact that I was ready to deal with the consequences no matter what they were. And that's the thing. You know, you ain't ready to deal with the consequences, then don't be out there messing around.
You can't do the time, don't do the damn crime. You know? Equate your crime on how much time you can do from that, right. And then you should judge on, should I do this or not?
You know? And I had about, 6, 7, 8 year run on the people when they come. And that, man, I'm gonna tell you, man, that's gonna be another subject for another time, but that ain't the life, man.
Yeah, that's definitely not the life. And
being on the run ain't the life.
And now we talking about that ain't the life. Kind of what's going on today. A lot of RICO cases, a lot of RICO charges going on. The Young Thug, Donald Trump, snitching. Was snitching a thing back in the day? Back in your day, was a lot of people. Is it always been a thing, or was it just, you know what I'm saying, people snitching on others? Was it frowned upon back in the day?
It was frowned upon, but you didn't hear it like you hear today. You know, man, shit. See, today they just come right out. See, TV, laptops,
1090J,
all this new technology,
yeah,
is running people crazy, man. Cause you got people doing things today thinking they in Hollywood. You know, how you running down the street shooting people and then you broadcasting yourself. You know, what?
Crazy. That's
What
how
is this?
that's how them kids. That's how people. You got and they using this stuff. They're using that stuff against them now. Music and everything on the RICO cases.
Right, and see that RICO Act, man. When dude come up with that one, he came up with a bomb.
Listen,
Straight up bomb.
I create the RICO Act is basically we're gonna use crime. we're gonna use criminal acts to catch criminals. Cause a lot of stuff they do in that RICO that they use in court is inadmissible and it's hearsay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna commit crimes to, which they always do. I'm gonna commit crimes to lock up somebody who's committing crimes. So both of us are ultimately committing crimes. But hold on, I'm finna get real deep. I'm finna get ultra deep. This is a crime because you said it was a crime. So all these nonviolent crimes and drug charges are crimes because you said it was a crime. Since you said it was a crime, now I'm committing a crime, and now you're committing a crime to keep me from committing crimes. So it's just a bunch of people committing crimes in this country, and that's for another thing. Everything's perspective.
The whole world is based on hypocrisy, man, because you know, it's the majority that's gonna lay down the foundation for anything anyway. And the land is blind, one-eyed man is king. You hear what I'm saying? So that's any way you go.
Yep.
That's in any society
Yep.
you in. What it is how much hard do you have to buck the system?
Yep.
You did. How far are you willing to step outside the so-called norm? And man, I ain't trying to hear your laws, because your laws is your laws.
Your laws.
In the beginning, what was they building penitentiaries for? Black people wasn't going there. The hell what we gonna do to go to we was in the cornfield, cotton field.
Oh man.
The hell we gonna do to go to a prison?
Yeah, man, this is some juicy stuff.
You know what I'm saying? They wasn't built for us.
Nah, it wasn't built for us.
We started inviting ourselves up in this shit.
Yeah,
man.
that
shit wasn't built for us.
I think the prison thing is that's gonna be an episode on its own. So we're gonna get ready to start to cut this short, man. Give everybody time to go on the rest. We're gonna do this another time.
Yes, sir.
You wanna say anything else? You wanna give a last jewel to anybody out there that might be listening? Hopefully be a lot of people liking and viewing.
Grab them shouties, man. Grab them shouties, y'all. You know, take some time, man. I mean, okay, you gotta go to work, you gotta do this, you gotta do. Grab them shouties, man, because you are the buffer between them and what's like out there. You are the first line of any defense. This is where it starts. You know, take some time, y'all. Take some time.
We're gonna include that as another great episode. Real Man, Real Podcast. Thank you, Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
Talking to you again.
Sure.
We're all out. Peace.